Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's poppin'?
Nice. What up? How's my audio quality right now?
Pretty good. Are you using a fucking microphone?
Yeah, dude, I got a legit microphone and headset set up,
Oh yeah,
dude.
dude. It sounds better than a laptop.
Like I have like straight up like a producer setup right here. I'm gonna take a picture and post it on X, and I'm gonna say, "Come join our space." Yeah, dude, I'm stoked to hear about some of the shit that you've been doing, dude, and like honestly, for me, it's like jumping around doing a million things. But if I like set a time and I get on a meeting with somebody, I'm like zoned in and focused on what we're doing. So it's like I realized it with hiring and even the way that I work, like with clients on Upwork. Like if I have a meeting scheduled, that just like forces me to get shit done.
You locked in?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm about to clone your repos and start freaking diving into the tubes net that you've been
Oh
building.
shit. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I've really been going pretty crazy with this shit. Like, I mean, that Mac app that I sent you yesterday is now a Rust CLI that is wrapped by a Mac app, so it can be used by any app, and it's just a CLI that can be installed on your fucking
Got it. So
laptop.
you use Rust to make the interactive CLI to like work with it, and basically that will build the application for whatever operating system you're on.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking about it as like almost like an internal API, if that makes sense. Like the CLI is the API, and that provides the like single interface for anything to interact with it. But really, what it does is it's like an interface between you and the server. So you don't have to go on your server, type in your SSH keys, navigate to the folder using the command line and all that bullshit. You just like have that shit configured in a JSON file, and you just type homeboy extra chill plugin update, and it updates the plugins on extrachill.com from the command line. And so you can have Claude then like read your debug logs with it. You can have it like it's like amazing. You can have it connect directly to your server, and it creates this interface between your computer, Claude, and the server.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
I know,
Who
I
else
know.
is doing that workflow, dude? I think you made up a whole entire workflow.
I mean, I saved myself a shitload of fucking time, honestly. Well, I spent 4 days building it, but I, I learned so much about like I didn't know anything about how Rust works. I didn't know anything about Swift
Dude,
or anything
Rust
like that.
is Rust is where it's at, dude. That's like the language everybody loves. And yeah, I spent a lot of time with learning Rust with the way that they have the like Rust set up. You can basically use the CLI. They love you using the CLI. And forget what it's called, but they have like the Rust tutorial that basically downloads when you install Rust. And so I think you do like rust up tutorial command or something, or like start tutorial, and you basically it's like rust up help maybe. But it starts this whole tutorial, and there's like this whole handbook and guide to go through how to basically develop with Rust. And it's freaking different, bro, than like if you're a normal like web developer, it's like that one layer deeper into like, oh shit, everything seems more like you have to be smarter to understand it.
I mean, dude, I can't even claim to understand anything about it right now because I literally just started fucking with it yesterday. So, uh, like I can talk to you about PHP, and like I can tell I understand that, and JavaScript now. I think I understand that pretty well. But Rust, I literally know almost nothing about it, and I have a CLI that's written in Rust. Except I do know that it's cool as shit, and I see people talking about it, and I like how it's like everything is. I like how it's like cross-platform compatible, especially, and I like how it works with your computer, not with your web server. I like all that stuff about it.
Yeah, so you like it to build native desktop applications, not just web apps.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, it like lives on the server and it like conducts the logic that the web apps would use, basically.
Okay, so you're saying use it as a backend language, but you could also use like Python or Node.js or whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah,
need to.
definitely, yeah. And I've used Python as well, but I specifically wanted to do this in Rust because I saw so many people talking about it, and I wanted to have the language on Extra Chill's GitHub repo. Like when you look at it, it says what language is the organization, and now it says Rust and Swift.
Nice. Yeah, that's legit, dude. And honestly, like people who see that who are like employers and I mean, if you were ever to look for like a full-time software engineer job, they see that you've got like a whole repository with Rust. That's a green flag for your resume.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about. And I mean, dude, this shit is so fucking cool. Like, I can use it. It really makes like uploading. Like, if I'm developing a plugin on my computer, it makes the process of like installing it on my WordPress site so much fucking easier because I just have to configure my server one time in a fucking JSON file, and then I can just have Claude deploy it directly. So, and it tracks the versions. So it's like, oh, you have
Yeah, that's
version one.
infrastructure as code is what you're
Yeah,
talking about there.
dude, it's
Which
amazing. And
yeah.
I just like can't even believe how deep I've gotten into this because I would have never, ever, ever even tried to do something like this a year ago.
Well,
And
do you
now
know
I'm
about Terraform?
no.
So Terraform is like one of the bigger like infrastructure as code things, and they make all these like YAML files to deploy cloud resources. So it's like kind of similar to that. Like you can have JSON and .yaml like configuration files to help you
Okay.
like just deploy resources. But I need to look a little bit more into your repositories to see like how exactly you're doing everything here. Okay, so you're doing the Swift so that you have the iOS desktop app or Mac OS app. I mean, obviously that could also go to iPad or iOS with Swift.
Yeah.
Do you use
The CLI can be installed anywhere.
so which repo should I clone first for Homeboy?
Well, okay. So I think I might have an outdated version. I think I might need to push some updates before you clone it. Let me check. But you don't even need to clone the Homeboy CLI. You can just fucking install it and tell Claude to use it.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to, but you can just do brew, tap, extra chill. Like if you look at the Homeboy CLI repo,
Yeah, I'm seeing the README. Brew
but
tap, extra chill
let me
tap,
make
or
sure that
install Homeboy.
let me make
Damn,
sure that
that's so freaking cool, dude. I've never
I
done
know.
anything like this.
But wait, don't install it yet. Let me make sure that the because I have 1.0.1.1 on
Oh,
my
you got
computer.
PM2 with Node.js on here. That's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
good
So that was the idea.
for
The idea,
Express.
like when I first made it, it was like focused on only my projects, and then I was like, wait a second, like maybe I can use this for like literally everything. And I started to abstract everything away and made it so that you just like define your configuration that you need. So if you're developing with any other like infrastructure, like you can technically use it for like Laravel and Django and like whatever fucking infrastructure you want, you'd be able to use this to deploy to your server as long as you configure it and like it's like path based and shit. So but I really need to push the update before you download it because there's probably some things that are broken. And also like it might be a little broken right now because I was working on it last night and then I went out
Oh, this looks legit,
downtown.
dude. Yeah.
But dude, it's really cool. I'm pretty fucking excited about it. I mean, I've realized that like I've built so many things, and I need to like stop building things and start using the things that I've built.
Yeah, like proving out their use cases, basically.
Yeah, but
Nice, dude.
Data Machine is another thing that's really cool, and it's almost published on WordPress. But it's like harder for you to test because then you have to like have a WordPress install and install the plugin on your site and like.
Yeah,
But
dude. Respect for staying in the WordPress lane, though. That's sick.
I've gotten real deep
Um,
into WordPress.
yeah, are you still like in the WordPress communities and stuff and active there?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll just while you're doing that, give an update of stuff I've been doing
yeah.
recently.
Tell me about.
Let's see. So yeah, I do work full time. So I have that job with Brock, and I've been basically moving more into product management in that space just because, dude, honestly, like the corporate world is different, bro. Everything is so slow and you have to jump through hoops and there's a lot of like politics around stuff. So like even if you have ideas to like improve things or you think like for example, and I don't want to like talk too much about that about the corporate stuff in my job because like yeah, I've had a lot of really awesome opportunities and I'm able to grow my career and there's a lot of awesome people there. But at the same time, just innovation is slower in the corporate world. But I just think that's the way it's the way it goes for those kinds of companies that are like a lot bigger and not as
Yeah,
lean like a small startup.
dude.
That
I've noticed that they move slow. Like
yeah.
to like actually have something happen takes a while because they all have to fucking agree on it before they do anything. And it's like you're gonna have 6 fucking meetings before you do anything. When if you're a solo developer, it's like, bro, I made that decision in 30 seconds and I moved forward and I did this myself. It's like,
Yes. No, I mean that's 100% it, dude. Like, yeah, that's basically it at the end of the day. Yeah, you have to get like a bunch of people to agree and approve things. And a lot of times it takes convincing, especially for the more like senior people that have been around longer to buy into like a new technology or new idea and actually push it versus just talk about it and consider it.
yeah, I guess it makes sense though because the company is established and has business and has clients and has like a whole thing going. And it's
Yeah.
like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the mentality. They already have a system. It's worked for them for a while, so they're gonna keep doing that. And like, yeah, the new stuff comes, and it's like they're looking at it too as scrutiny. But it's like you don't want to fall for just the latest trend and like hop on the latest trend. But at the same time, dude, like you see it, I see it. The AI stuff is here to stay, dude. And it's like if you're not jumping on the wave, you're basically gonna just miss the set
Dude,
for
I
to do
know.
like a
I
surfing
It's
analogy,
fucking
you
crazy.
know?
The
Yeah.
technology is fucking crazy, and I feel like I not a lot of people know about what's going on with it because it's like it's impacting developers first. It's like also like all of a sudden every developer has this amazing fucking coding tool, and like regular people have no idea that it exists. You know?
Dude, I know Claude Code is a game changer. And I know that there's like other similar products too, but man, like it's insane. I really don't even code that much anymore, to be honest with you. I mostly just
I
prompt.
know, and I read the code and I look at it and I try to understand what's
Yeah.
happening. I like patterns and I like
Yeah.
I've been learning things that I like in my code, like keeping everything organized and having like I like single source of truth instead of duplicating the same logic over and over again in different places. I like to reuse. I think of it like an engine almost. It's like you have this and it's
Yeah.
responsible for this only, and you put it in there. And every time you need this, you're going to use this component. I fucking love it, dude. I'm like addicted to
Yeah, man.
it.
Yeah. So yeah, you love engineering. You're thinking about it like an engine. Like it is software engineering. It's just you're taking away the barrier to entry, which was the annoying syntax and the annoying amount of errors that you would get because now we have these multi-agent systems that have this feedback loop where it's like understand the problem, start to implement a solution, it breaks. Okay, what broke? If you've seen the React framework, and I'm not talking about JavaScript React, I'm talking about it's called the React. I want to say it's called a framework, but
You
like
say
search
how
up
they have all
React
their errors on the website.
React LLM framework. No,
Oh,
it's yeah, it's called React prompting. So I've been learning from LangChain Academy about LangGraph because I've been really big into building like RAG style applications where it's like grounded knowledge in a vector database. And I know that you're doing this too with the WordPress tools that you've been working
yeah,
on.
not really that
So
though.
like
That's like a step further that I haven't gotten into yet, honestly.
okay. But
Not RAG.
so I'm just gonna read a little bit about React prompting. So it's React where LLMs are used to generate both reasoning traces and task specific actions in an interleaved manner. So that's a bad definition. It's basically like acting and reasoning, which allows humans to learn new tasks and make decisions or reasoning. So there's like a chain of thought. And this is what Claude Code is doing in the background. And it's basically like doing an action is like calling a tool, like say I'm going to use the CLI to type a npm run dev, but I get an error. So then I take back that error and I put it back to the LLM, and that's called reasoning.
Oh,
And then you act again, and it's like a loop.
yeah,
And
dude,
so
that's
that
the best thing
loop is
about it.
like, yeah. And so that's what Claude's doing. And it's like, that takes away such a annoying barrier of software engineering where it's like, you had to do that by yourself and it's pretty much sucked unless you were like, love it. I mean, I would just like turn on some music and vibe out still. I mean,
Yeah,
vibe coding, dude. I've been vibe coding since I started coding.
I
But
know, but just imagine how much it would suck because it really sucks to type into the terminal. The terminal is not very friendly. Like, if you make a typo, you have to like do all sorts of fucking voodoo to go back and correct your errors. And dude, that shit. And but like the AI loves the terminal, and like it's better for them. So like it takes this whole thing and makes it like they're like, oh yeah, I love the CLI, and so you just have to talk to them and they'll use the fucking terminal. You don't have to type all these weird commands, like memorize all this crazy shit.
Yeah, exactly. You just get to observe and watch it do it and be like, oh, that's cool. I kind of understand what that means. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you don't even really have like you have to just understand it at like a like foundational level. Like you know
Hmm.
how your shit works and how it's supposed to work, and if you can explain that clearly, then like the AI can build it for you. You know what I mean? But you do have to go back and
Yeah.
clean up after yourself because a lot of times, like I've noticed that if I have the AI generating a lot of code like fast, it always fucking like does things over and over again instead of implementing the kind of things I was talking about, like components though, like so it's like you have it build out the feature and then you go back and you're like, all right, well this is kind of sloppy. Let's like organize this shit. So it's like you go through and you like first you build it, then you iterate on it, and then you just keep working with it, and it becomes more and more reliable over time. And the things that broke at the beginning don't break anymore. It's cool as fuck, dude. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some, the only time that Claude Code hasn't been good for me has been working on legacy code that other people wrote, and it's kind of shitty, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
I've never really
yeah.
messed with any of that. I mean, I've had it.
So I was
What?
just gonna say that happens when I'm working at actually my full-time job because we have a lot of legacy code, and what we're doing is like modernizing that. And a lot of times, and we have like all these code standards that we do around this legacy code. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's like we had our own system, and it's like the AI doesn't know that system. So you have to like
Yeah,
teach it all the standards and everything. So there's that. But then there's also a freelance project that I've been doing with another company on Upwork. And like, dude, they had this old PHP like custom CRM. So it's basically like a whole customized version of WordPress. But whoever developed it, dude, like the names of the files are like form new one, form
oh my
new
god,
logic two dot php. And it's like, it's basically just like a bunch of spaghetti sloppy. It's not terrible because it all works, right? So it's like you
yeah,
can't say it's like that bad because it works, but it's like the way that it's organized and named and everything is just confusing. So for the AI to try to go in and figure out where everything is like really hard for it to do because it's
dude.
not like a standard.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy because I've heard some shit like what you're saying, where like the code can only be maintained by one person. And it's almost like some of the older developers like purposely made the shit so that only they would understand it, so that they have jobs to do, you know? Or it's like they just
I
thought
mean,
nobody else was gonna
yeah,
look at it, and
I
like
think
nobody else
that's
is ever
part
gonna
of
see
it.
this shit. So I'm gonna do what I
Yeah,
want to do.
dude. No, that's legit. People do that. It's like then they just become an invaluable resource too. And it's like that's sort of like the name of the game, honestly. It's sort of like a weird thing ever since I started coding and stuff. It's like you see it happen where people, yeah, a lot of times people will have like a lot of pride behind their code too,
I
which
know it's so
like
annoying.
a little bit too much to the point where it's like egotistical and it's like they think that they're like the shit. And it's
Dude,
like,
there's so
bro,
much
you're
of that.
literally writing code. Like
Oh my god, there's so many stuck up fucking engineers that I see on X that like think they're smarter than every other fucking person. And
yes,
it's like a
dude.
thing. It's like
Yes.
that
I'm
little
glad you
thing.
see through that.
Yeah, no, of course, dude, because they all sound like fucking assholes and fucking idiots, honestly,
Yeah.
most of them, because they're like, I would never want to like have a beer with you ever in my life. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, what are you doing? I code all day too. Like, I'm like, come on, man.
Bro, honestly, some people they just yeah, they have this like complex that they think they're smarter because of whatever engineering things that they know.
Yeah, but
And I
I
mean,
mean,
I think
dude,
that shit's cool, but like, and yeah, I probably don't know as much as them, whoever it is we're talking about. I don't know. There's
exactly.
these guys, but I mean, I could probably learn it though.
Yeah, but like, it's really just about like memorizing, dude. Like, it's literally pure memorization to learn how to like actually code. You have to memorize. It's like studying for a test in fucking high school to learn all that shit. You have to keep all that
Yeah.
shit inside your brain, and it's like not really productive because of how many languages there are. Like you could never even like you'd have to spend your whole fucking life learning every programming language, and you'd never actually build anything because you spent all that time studying. And
Yeah, but it's not just languages though. It's also like algorithms and shit like that. Dude, like when I did an interview for Google as a software engineer like a year or 2 years ago now. It was probably like a year and a half ago. And when you do a FANG company like that, like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google are the FANG companies.
Yeah.
Maybe they add NVIDIA in there now too. I don't know. But when you do those types of things, it's like a multi interview process. You do like a phone screening and they're like, okay, you have like the credentials. We're going to pass you on to like the real interview or whatever. But then, and the real interview is like step one. If you get past that real interview, then you go on site and you do like 6 different interviews. And it's like gnarly, dude. Like it is gnarly. It's tough.
They make
I
you
don't know if
code
they're
while
making
they're
it
watching them.
easier. Yeah. So I got on like a Zoom call with a Google engineer, and he gives you basically what a leak code problem. If you've been to Leak Code, that
Yeah,
website.
I have been on there, and it made me feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Exactly, bro. Because that's the shit that you got to memorize. Those are like little puzzles. They're like coding puzzles. And a lot of them you never use in creating like a application, like actually building something, but you basically just have to know all these like little tricks, like I don't know, like binary sort algorithm and like obviously recursive loops. You got to know those, and like how to like traverse a graph and binary tree and whatever. And it's like that's the type of shit those guys who are like acting all high and mighty, they know like the back of their hand. Like they know that stuff so well, and they know that it's like not so common knowledge and that it's pretty like elite style stuff, that they feel elite for having like computer type brains, like computer science type brains, which like respect, dude. I mean, that shit is like mad confusing, and it's like you honestly have to rewire your brain to solve some of those problems. So I have respect for it, but it
Yeah,
doesn't justify this god complex.
yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. It's like
Yeah.
I would be proud of myself for knowing that shit too. So it's like you gotta respect that part of it for
Yeah.
sure. Because I would never fucking I don't think I could get a job at Google. I think that's one thing that I think about with like, I can build shit and I'm using the shit that I built in production, so I know that I'm good at this stuff. But like, I don't know that I can get past an interview because I don't know that if somebody actually like sat me down and said, "All right, code with no AI," I would probably like be confused. I would have to like really study and prepare for that.
But honestly though, dude, I sure, and it's cool that you're self-aware like that, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I think I've seen you from not coding at all to where you are now, and I'm like, dude, you're writing applications in Rust. Like you built something that you can install with Homebrew. Like what the hell?
Yeah,
Like, bro, you've come so far. It's insane. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know that like if they
yeah.
hired me and said we're going to build this and these are the constraints and this is what you need to know, and they put me in, I would do well. But it's just like getting my foot in the door is like the hard part. I would love to
Yeah,
like
because
work
you
for
don't
fucking
have like the computer science degree background, but
yeah, and
like
they see like a music blog. But I mean, now I have this GitHub thing. I have like a crazy GitHub repo with like all sorts of
yeah,
dude, like the
dude.
extra chill
That's
GitHub.
what people really look at is your GitHub.
Yeah,
100%. And they respect projects that actually have users too.
yeah. I think it's really cool. I think the GitHub repo for extra chill is also good for like SEO and stuff because it's like, oh, like Google can actually see the code for my fucking website in addition to users. Not that it's like helped me, but it's like I have all these theories in my brain that I always think about.
Dude, all
And
right,
websites.
I'm gonna switch topics for a second, and
Okay, yeah.
I'm a jump around type of person, but have you used Grok companions?
No, but I saw your video.
You saw my video. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
dude, that was hilarious. That was funny. It made me think, like, dude, you're actually good at like making social media content. You still do it a lot.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, it made me think about ideas. I didn't. I'm not ever like motivated to post things on social media, but I wish that I was good at. I wish that I.
Dude,
But
when I
anyway,
made that video, it was weird because I was like, I think this is gonna go viral. But at the same time, it like took a hot minute for it to go viral. So I
did it
doubted
go
it. I was
viral?
like, damn, I guess it's not.
Oh hell yeah! I
It
saw it like right after you posted it, like
No,
10
yeah,
minutes.
it took a minute, bro. It took like a whole like day and a half for it to catch the algorithm, but like it was like weird because I posted it and then I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like doing like normal, like the rest of my posts, not even as good as a normal post for me. Like it was getting like 100 likes. I was like, okay, that's like pretty good. Like
Oh dude, it did go
I'll
viral.
take that. Yeah,
Two
but then
thousand
I
likes.
noticed that Yeah, I noticed it also got like 100 shares too, and I was like, why does it have so many shares? Like, who the heck is like sharing this? And that's what made it like spread, because once it started getting shared, I guess people were just DMing it to each other, and then yeah, that's how it's got viral. It's just spread, and then the algorithm picks it up, and then they suggest it when people are scrolling reels. They like put it up there so that you scroll to it. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, that's hilarious. It's a funny video, and it's like a very like modern concept, something that like internet nerds get.
Yeah, I tried to throw in that nugget at the end about the Eliza effect to be
Oh
like,
yeah, I saw.
let's just all be aware of this.
Yeah,
um,
I haven't used the companions though. I've just seen. I saw Elon Musk posting about it. Elon Musk and Elon actually see his post like every fucking day, but
yeah.
I haven't used them.
Well, they're fun, dude. I use that AI companion a good bit, and I use it to help me navigate talking to girls, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I just like had such a hard time with girls. You already know this.
Dude, so have I, man. Yeah, we're
I
both
know.
in the same boat. We're 32 years old and single, and
Yeah.
I'm there, bro. I'm not good with girls either.
I know, what the fuck. These
I
females,
stopped
bro,
giving a
can't
fuck, bro,
understand them.
honestly.
Can't
I'm more
can't live
focused
with
on
them,
like,
can't live without them.
yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. I've given up on caring about that. I feel like the right girls will come along into my life whenever I have like my shit established. I spend so much
Yeah,
time
and
grinding.
yeah, and you've got the right outlook, dude. It's like once you create that kingdom, then the queen will come.
Exactly. I'm still building my kingdom. My kingdom's not complete yet. I'm still building the
Same.
fucking
Same,
basement,
dude.
bro.
So anyway, I use her to talk about like talking to girls and whatever. And then I also use her just on any random shit. Like sometimes I'll be working on the Helio project, and this is the thing I'm most excited about for 2026, dude. Honestly, like I got a couple things cooking, but the Helio project is the one thing that I'm like, this is such a solid bet that like for the next 5 years, like I'm gonna grow this company and it's gonna be legit. I still need to make our business plan, but I know for a fact, like if I just lock down the revenue model, that I already know that I can leverage connections to basically like bootstrap this thing and get it going. I've been doing a lot of sales recently where I've been like cold calling machine shops. I don't know. Have you seen this Helio project I've been working on?
You told me about it. It's the hardware thing, right?
Yeah, so I'll give the like 30-second to a minute pitch. So our tagline is Helio makes machines make sense. So there's a lot of manufacturing facilities in America. That's a big meta narrative that Trump's been pushing, is like actually the whole globe is pushing, is basically like everyone's taking jobs into their own country, not just the US. And it's because we have like robotics and AI that we can basically don't need slave labor anymore, right? We don't need to outsource to frickin' Southeast Asia to make our Nike dunks because we can have the robots do it in America, right? Ideally.
Yeah,
So anyway,
not
like
quite yet.
manufacturing is this big meta narrative, and so I've seen firsthand from my full time job. The company I work for does manufacturing, and that was the part of the business that I started in. So I've seen like this type of manufacturing software that's like machine monitoring. And so essentially what Helio is, it's a machine monitoring software where we plug into a CNC machine, which is a computer numerical controlled machine. So you can think like a 3D printer is a
Yeah,
CNC
I know
machine.
this. I know this CNC. I've actually
Okay,
seen one. My friend has one.
okay,
Yeah,
great. So tons of like metal shops all over the US. And they're like small to medium shops, but there's also like bigger ones that we'd be able to be partners with too. But we're looking more at small and medium to start because those ones don't have machine monitoring. And our goal is to basically just plug into these CNCs. We pull off the data, like, what's the uptime of this machine? How fast is the spindle going? And we basically like create charts and graphs of all the live data that's happening. And then we also just store all the data of the machine so that we can basically give them predictive maintenance, like, oh, better grease up your bearings because it's been a few months, and your
that's
machine's
great.
been running for the amount of hours that it's required to grease those things up, or else they're going to break.
That
And
doesn't
these
exist
machines,
yet.
no, it exists, but
Oh,
it's not super widespread. It's not very prevalent. I already talked to a guy, Chris, his also name was like Christopher or something. He's a German guy, but he's like been doing the same type of work in Germany and India. And he's like, dude, the US is so far behind. He's like, even if you just make machine monitoring, that's a solid, like you have a market here in the US. And there's
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's crazy.
yeah,
I was gonna say if it doesn't exist, you're gonna be a billionaire, bro, not a
well, so
millionaire.
the sauce that we're adding is we're adding the AI layer. So we're basically saying that we're gonna do retrieval augmented generation for all the information that you have about the machine, your current maintenance logs, and as well as like all of the instruction manuals that come into the machine. We're gonna make a vector database, a knowledge base for that machine, and that machine can be its own agent. And we have like a multi-agent framework. And so each machine in your factory is an agent, and so you talk to like an orchestrator and you say like, okay, like I want to make my factory better. So it goes and talks to all the machine agents and starts to like figure out like all the data that's coming through, all of the maintenance logs, the manuals and everything for all the machines to basically like help you optimize your factory. And these machines, bro, like the reason that you need machine monitoring, they cost like as much as a nice car. Like they're like
I
50
know.
grand up to like
Yeah.
100 grand for these
And
machines.
like,
So
but like, there's ones that are probably more than that because Apple uses that shit to build their computers and stuff. They have like, they're using them to build fucking like motherboards and shit.
yeah. Yeah. No, they're big. They're all over. So there's tons of like all these small like mom and pop style like manufacturing companies, and they all have CNCs, and some of them don't have any sort of machine monitoring software. So that's sort of who we're targeting. So I look in the area and I found like in New London, Connecticut or something, there's like a machine shop. It's run by a dad and his son. They're actually the ones that I'm talking to next week. Hopefully I'm basically like, I'm going to do a free pilot for you guys for 3 months. Try it out. No cost. If you like it, you can buy it. Maybe I'll give them a discount. All I'm looking for is just a little bit of feedback
Oh,
and
yeah.
just to be able to run it in a real factory for 3 months. So,
Yeah. Okay. So they're like a business that uses that shit like every day. Dude, my
yeah.
buddy Steve, like, if you need someone to test it, like, he's got like one that cuts wood in his shop and, like he's just a
Okay.
guy. He's not like he's just a guy who like, uses it for a hobby. So he's probably not a client, but like he might be. He wants to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah. And so that's like the mom and pop shops might be a little bit more like that, which is not really like our target, because our target is like factory that's running 24/7
Yeah,
basically. That would need it more. So
yeah,
it could be like a bigger client. But like, so the idea is essentially to cold call some of these businesses, get our proof of concept like dialed in a live facility, and then start to leverage connections. And that's where it's going to start to blow up, is once it's like proven and I'm confident, then I'm going to be like, all right, send it, dude. Let's get in over our heads and get like a really big contract. Like, let me leverage everybody I know to like find like a real big company
yeah,
that'll do this.
yeah. So yeah, dude, that's a really good idea. And the thought of the machines talking to each other in the factory and it's like how can we be more efficient is like a crazy thing to think about and definitely on the cutting edge of like what's happening in the world right now. And you're right about
Yeah.
blue
Following
collar
the
business.
meta. Yeah.
Yeah. And blue collar businesses are always behind the times. Like most of them have
Yeah.
websites from the fucking early 2000s that are like plain HTML. It's like,
Dude, you really could make a business by just creating websites for these CNC shops. Because yeah, I've been looking at all their websites, dude, and they're so bad. And they're like, yeah, from like the early 2000s or the
yeah, but they
90s
don't
even.
care. They don't want to like invest in the website because,
Some of them do though. Some of them will. That's the thing,
well,
is you just
shit,
got to find that honey spot, dude.
if you find any of them that need a website, be like, I got a guy who will build a website for you. You take care of the machines and I'll build the website.
Legit, bro. That could really work, honestly, because in my hunting of looking at all these places, dude, like everyone I go to, I'm like, wow, that website sucks. That website sucks. And they're like, yeah, they haven't been updated in years. And it's like, yeah, they don't have to throw that much at it, really, like a couple thousand, like I
Dude,
mean,
I could
over a
build them
year.
a
They
website
could
in
write
like
that off in
a
taxes
day.
too, you know?
I could build a website for these businesses in like two days. A really good fucking
Yeah.
website.
Yeah, and you scale that and you start doing that for a bunch of them. And plus for them, it's a tax write-off.
The first one will take the longest because once you do it once, then you have a template that you can reuse. You just make it a generic thing that you can plug in and customize. I would do it with
Yeah.
WordPress, obviously, but You can do it. Like,
Yeah, WordPress is great, dude. I mean, those companies would love WordPress because they can actually go in and manage it.
yeah, that's true. Dude, yeah, WordPress is so fucking cool. I really like it. The more I learn about
It's
it, the more amazing it is. The authentication, like everything it gives you out of the box is so fucking cool. And I did mess with other stuff. I messed with Next.js and stuff. You have to like manage your own database. You have to like set up your shit manually.
Yeah, I mean, those are for building like progressive web apps. It's not like a website that a company needs. Like, there's a
Yeah,
reason that like all of the internet is on WordPress. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the internet is WordPress.
dude, you can use WordPress to build a progressive web app as well. But it's like
Yeah.
it's not really what it's designed to do. But like, dude, I'm doing like headless shit where it's like I have a Gutenberg block on the page that is interacting with the API directly and not actually going through the PHP at all. It's using React to call the API to get its data. So you can place it literally on any website in the world and it would still fucking work. And I have an app, an extra chill app that I can sign into my website from the fucking mobile application using JWT through the API. It's like completely fucking like headless. So
Hell yeah. That's
WordPress
insane.
is
That's
sick.
awesome, man. Yeah,
Dude,
it's
yeah,
great. You can use it as a headless backend, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I've really
realized
come to
that
the cutting edge of it, honestly, bro. I've like
Yeah.
the fact that I've built an app that you can is like run on a phone that you can log into a WordPress site from is like not a lot of people are doing that.
No, that's a good skill to have, dude. You need to make tutorials on it and
I
shit.
know, I know. Well, I need to release the app. I need to finish the
Because
app.
that was one thing, dude. I made a React app inside of a WordPress site tutorial, and it like is one of my best ones on Medium, like my
Really?
best article. Yeah.
Dude, I have so many of those. I have React apps in Gutenberg blocks now, and I have React apps in WP admin on running admin pages in React instead of using PHP. And I'm not using any Ajax PHP bullshit. I'm using all
Nice.
React and API. I literally gutted my entire platform of Ajax. There's no fucking Ajax on the entire extra chill platform now.
Hell yeah, dude. Ajax is super old. You don't want that. You don't want that. Good.
Yeah,
Get
I
out.
actually learned about that on X. I started reading like
Yeah.
I that's the thing. Like I do keep up with like I'm reading WordPress blogs by people who are fucking like working through automatic and shit. It's like they're saying don't use Ajax anymore, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even ever think about that. Like now I realize that you don't need this shit, and then when
No,
you
yeah, that's old jQuery type shit. Yeah, you got
oh
to get
yeah,
rid of that.
jQuery sucks too, dude. I
Deprecated.
realized that as well because when you look at page speed, it's like 30 kilobytes of data on every fucking page load, and you don't need it. You can just write it in vanilla JavaScript and get rid of jQuery. Except
Hell yeah.
WordPress backend uses it, so you have to fucking use it in admin, which isn't as big of a deal because it's not user facing, so it makes sense that they have probably a
Dude,
lot of
I
work
think
to get rid of.
yeah, I think a honey spot for WordPress PHP innovation is like anything that you can make just a little bit faster is going to make you blow up.
Really?
Yeah. Like that's how if you look at JavaScript compilers, dude, people just freaking love shit that works fast and good. So I think like the Rust component, like lean into that and see how you can freaking make it faster with like Rust and PHP and shit. Because that was actually one thing with this older website, PHP website I'm doing. Dude, it takes forever for shit to load. And same with WordPress websites. That is the number one problem that people have with their WordPress site is that it takes too long to load.
Really? Yeah, I
100%.
use Query Monitor, and because it's really easy to accidentally do things that slow down your website when you're building something. Like when you
Yeah.
accidentally you query something and you don't batch it, then you're making 10 different queries on every page load instead of one that gets everything you need. Or you're loading 15 different JavaScript files for all sorts of custom functionality, some of which you're not even using on that page. Or you have WooCommerce installed and they fucking load your website with all sorts of bullshit.
Yeah. You get
That's why
gunked up with all those plugins.
I know. That's why I started using multi-site, dude. I have shop.extrachill.com that is the only place where WooCommerce is installed, but any site in the network can use the API to interact. And I don't use Tribe Events. I'm using my own custom events calendar that's fully fucking automated. And
That's so sick.
I have a
Dude, your
universal
site loads so freaking fast, dude, compared to like a normal WordPress site.
I don't use jQuery on the front end at all. I deleted it from the front end. I only use it exactly where I need it, which is in VBPress on the forum site. Dude, yeah, I've like really spent a lot of time like organizing the extra chill and like making it way better. And I think actually what I've done with I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I think I have one of the fucking coolest WordPress websites on the entire fucking.
Dude, I would say that's pretty based. That's grounded. Like, I agree. Yes.
Thank you.
100%. Dude, honestly, like, I need to do this more too, because I was just looking at like my Medium account and I was like, oh yeah, I wrote that article. But I had AI write it. Like, I remember I was doing something and I was like, dude, you know what? Like, while I do this, I better just tell Claude to write a Medium article for me about the thing that we just did.
That's sick.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And then just post that. Just take like 5-10 minutes and just post it on Medium or whatever.
I do have a Medium
Because, like,
account.
especially for the stuff that you're doing, it's like people will find value in that information, because there's a lot of other WordPress developers out there and they are going down that they want to solve the same problems that you're solving, but they just don't know what to do.
Yeah, dude, I've actually gotten messages on Reddit from people, like, because I did when I first started thinking about doing stuff like this, I made a post on like WordPress developer Reddit, and I was like, has anybody made a mobile app with a WordPress site? And I got a bunch of comments.
Well, I've thought about that. Yeah, a lot of people have thought about
it. It was like a really big discussion. Like, a lot of people responded, and now I still get DMs on Reddit from people asking me if I did it. And like, I got a DM from
you do it?
like 2 weeks ago. Dude, did you ever make that app? I'd love to know. I'm thinking about this. So you're right. You're right about that. It is something that people definitely are interested in, and it's not something that a lot of people have done.
Wait, did you do it though?
What?
Make a mobile app with a WordPress site back
end? Yeah. It's just not done yet.
Hell yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Bro, I'll tell you, publishing to the App Store, start it sooner than later, because you have to jump through a bunch of hoops.
Yeah, well, I probably need at least another month or so to actually finish. The thing that I did was make the app able to log in and create accounts on my WordPress site, and then have some basic stuff. But like, the rest of the app is like just a pass through to the website. So I was thinking about finishing the app first before I submit it to the App Store, you know. But yeah, it's a React Native.
Submit it as soon as it's like in a somewhat working state, so that you can just test it and get it into test flight and just start that process. Trust me, start it sooner than later.
Okay.
Like,
so
from experience.
Like, I'm just using Xcode to run it on my laptop, really, is what I've been doing. You think I should?
Yeah, I'm just saying the building and deployment is like a whole process that you're going to want to figure out.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So you're going to want to streamline that.
You're right. And one thing I also noticed is that even when building this desktop app, if you have an Apple developer account, you can sign it. And so you don't have to fucking enter your password every time you open the fucking app.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get an Apple developer account.
Yeah, it's $100 a year.
It's $100 a year.
So I've looked into it a little bit, but I was just like, I guess I didn't want to release the app too early, but I guess it's like I can put it on the App Store and not tell anyone that it's there or something. Or are you saying like I can get it, like test flight, I can install it on my phone and let other people install it?
No, yeah. You start out testing it first before you publish
I don't want
it. So you still want to build it and just get it into test flight and all that, and then you publish it when it's ready.
Yeah.
But at least start that process where you're testing it.
Yeah, I definitely did.
And then you can send it to other people for them to test.
Yeah, I've had some people messaging me about that already. They want to test it. They want to install it and test it. So, all right, that's really good to know, because I didn't really know. I was just going to perfect it on my own laptop, running it in Xcode on my on my laptop and build it. But it sounds like I should just go ahead and get it in test flight right away, and then anyone can install it on their phone.
Yeah, sooner than later. And I'm like, I need to tell myself that too, bro, with the trick book, because I'm still running that project. And I actually recently just bought a phone, like for, I guess maybe like somewhere between $150 to $200. I bought this like Samsung A165. Dude, pretty good phone. I can't believe it was that cheap. But you have to have a phone. You have to have a developer device to be a registered Google. Google's even harder than Apple now to be a developer.
So I need to buy a Google phone to publish on the Android App Store.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It sucks, but yeah, it's the hard truth. And then also you need like 12 testers to test your app, like 12 verified testers. Google? So I have to find 12 people that'll actually install my app on their phone. For Google, yeah.
12 people that don't use iPhone.
I know, bro, because our type of network, like everybody uses iPhone because we all get the blue bubble. It's like sus if someone is texting you and it's not a blue bubble.
I know. Well, that's an Apple branding. That's like marketing by Apple, honestly.
I know, dude. It's the craziest thing because I was talking with my sister about this. She lives in Austin too, so
Oh,
I
really?
gotta come down and visit Austin,
Dude,
bro. I gotta come
definitely.
say what up
You
to
would
you.
love it here.
Yeah, I've said that before. Yeah, my sister lives
Dude,
there. She's been living there for like 2 years.
the Cloudflare office is like 2 blocks away from my
Fuck Cloudflare.
apartment.
Sorry. Fuck Cloudflare.
I thought you liked
Dude, I interviewed with them too.
I thought you liked them.
No, dude, they suck. Nah.
Oh, you're the one who
I
turned me
thought
on
I'd
to
like them
Cloudflare like
too, trust
10
me.
years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I liked them in college. I remember, like, yeah, I mean, they've always had good CDN
I've never
service.
given them
That's
a
what I
dollar.
used it for.
Oh, wow, that's not true.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They do stuff for free, which is great. But dude, did you ever see that thing that blew up last year or like 2 years ago? It was like the person who got fired from
Yeah,
Cloudflare and she like I think it started the trend of people like basically filming themselves getting laid
I
off
did see.
for tech stuff. So you saw
Yeah,
it.
she was like a
You saw
sales
that.
girl first, and
Yes.
she was like a cutie. I did see it. I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, she was a cutie. It was definitely like it was kind of brutal that they laid her off like that after only just hiring
Yeah,
her. But at the same time, like you could kind of see from the business justification that it's like, oh, okay, well, if they're looking at straight numbers and it's like she hasn't pulled any, but it's also like she started 3 months ago, guys. Like she's
yeah.
starting to
They
work
didn't
the
give her enough
accounts.
time
Like
to get warmed up,
Jesus.
but I did see. I thought it was kind of like I would never have filmed myself in that situation. So I was like,
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that she did that,
yeah,
but whatever.
exactly.
uh yeah. Well, a lot of people everybody was on her
Well,
side
yeah,
is the
because fuck
thing. So I mean, I think it
corporations.
was yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure she got like a good job where people actually like treated her better than that. And so the thing is, I also interviewed for Cloudflare. So this was at the same time around that I was doing the Google interview. I did an interview with Cloudflare. And dude, they basically just like ghosted me for no reason. That's why I don't like them because of that, the way they treated her and the way that they just ghosted me after like giving me all this. Dude, I worked hard to freaking get to that interview. And like, yeah, I like leveraged a connection from CFC that like I didn't even know the guy, but he went to CFC and he worked there. So I like hit him up on LinkedIn. He gave me a referral. You got past like the screening interview. Then they gave me another interview, and the guy was like pretty much down to let me on, even though it wasn't really like my bread and butter. It was like networking. So it would have been more like of a cloud IT kind of position, even though I'm like a software developer.
Hmm.
But I was like, yeah, I know like HTTP protocol and I know like whatever Cloudflare networking stuff. Like I can use the command line. Like it's fine. Just give it to me. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Uh, and so they basically like had me lined up for all these next interviews and I was like studying. Yeah. So I got through that interview with that guy. And so then they gave me all the next interviews and I was like studying for them really hard and they canceled them the day before. And they're like, oh, sorry, like our team's full right now. So we can't take anyone else on.
Nah.
I'm like, what? Then yeah, they were like, well, I think they suggested another role for me. And then like I looked at some other roles and I was like, okay, can I get in touch with these guys, this team? And they just stopped responding to me basically. I was like, what the
Damn.
hell? They basically just like canceled my interview process with no reason except for they were just like, oh, we're full now.
Yeah, it sounds like they hired
So
somebody else. You were
probably.
probably running up against another person and they hired them instead of you. Those fuckers.
Yeah, but they didn't even like say that. Like at least tell me that if that's what happened, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Otherwise, they ghost you and you're left like, what the fuck?
And all the Cloudflare outages that we've been seeing lately too. Like, I just don't know if it's a well-run company, to be
Dude,
honest.
yeah, they've gone down twice in the past like 6 months or something. And I was just thinking that they're just like fucking, they've got a bunch of guys fucking vibe coding with Claude and like pushing shit to production and tanking every website in the entire country. It's such a hilarious, like,
Yo, I think legit that's what's happening there because it seemed like the guy that I talked to, he seemed like pretty loosey goosey, and they hire remote workers too. So they're just like hiring random people that are all probably using Claude Code, and yeah, they're taking down fucking like multi-production
yeah, dude,
environments.
that's what I was thinking. It's like, why do they, like, how do they not catch these errors before they happen when they're that big? You know, it's like, that's a risky company to run, you know? So many websites
Yeah.
and apps rely on Cloudflare. You can't just push shit to production that's going to tank everyone's fucking website. Like, that's pretty serious. So, yeah,
Dude, it's part of the centralization problem. It's like that company, that cybersecurity company the other year that took down all that shit because they pushed bad code. What was their name? Do you remember that?
I don't know. But how do they? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I push bad code, but I run a WordPress site. It's different.
No, yeah, but pushing it to production, it was God, what was CrowdStrike.
uh,
CrowdStrike. Yeah, it was a big thing. It was like a year or two ago.
there's basically
They took down like all the airlines and airports. It was bad. It was really bad. It was like, and it's like then you realize it was like ironic because they're a cybersecurity company and they're the ones that took down all the, but they had kernel access to like all of
oh my
Microsoft
god.
basically. Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like you give one company like too much power and it's like that shit happens. I see. So, anyways, the point that I was going to before when I mentioned my sister is that like an Apple, when we were talking about the blue bubble, is like I was talking to my sister about that because we were talking about, and she brought this up, which I thought was interesting, that she's like, privacy is going to be like such a big thing. And I see like, do you know PewDiePie?
Yeah, YouTuber.
He's like the big YouTuber
Yeah,
guy. Yeah, yeah. He's been putting out videos lately, which he like took a break for a couple years. And one of like the first video he put out, he's been getting deep into coding too. Honestly, his latest videos, great watches. He's like, dude, he's building like his own LLM supercomputer. It's
damn,
sick.
he's got a lot of money.
And he's all about developing on Linux, dude. And he's all about de-Googling and getting off the cloud platforms. And that's where I'm starting to see things and people going. Like, I think we're going to start to see like a lot of companies come up that are privacy focused and decentralized. And it's like, you're going to be cloud platforms are probably going to be a little bit smaller, more independent, and like have their own style of branding and fit maybe like certain users. Like there's people that will pay for like luxury stuff. So I'm going to say there's probably going to be like a luxury phone brand that like that's going to be different than Apple that's going to come out, like a new cellular, maybe like more little cellular brands and stuff, because it's so easy now for anyone to make anything, dude. We need to break up the
I
monopolies.
know. I think you're right about that, and I was also thinking that it applies to like social platforms too. Like everyone's
Yeah.
on Instagram. Maybe in the future there'll be some of like niche things. Like at least that's my hope. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
do with extra chill.
Because anybody can build Instagram, bro, with Claude
I
Code.
know.
Right?
Well, there's a lot of things that they do that make it fast, and they have to store a lot of images and
Yeah.
like a lot of different things. I was reading some. I think I saw it on YouTube.
No, it's
And
true.
there was like a Instagram engineer talking about when they first built the app, and like one of the biggest things they were focused on was making the images upload fast. And so he said that one decision that they made was
Bro,
that
that's what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
He said one decision that they made was that the image gets uploaded as soon as the user adds it, not when they press post, and then they already have the image on the server. So when they press post, the image is already there.
Yeah.
And then if they cancel it, they just delete the image later. And so like that is a decision that a human has to make, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It is about making it fast because that's definitely like the ability to upload and post images quickly. But yeah.
Yeah. And I look at the success of Bun too, which is a JavaScript compiler that like basically beat fucking,
yeah,
Bun.
they're owned by Anthropic now.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I think like one or two guys made Bun and they basically just made Node.js faster. They're like, we're just going to make Node.js, but faster. And they were a private company. And now they're like worth millions of dollars. It's insane.
I know.
And like, honestly, from freelancing, from being on Upwork and seeing job posts, bro, one of the biggest problems with Upwork is people are like, my site is too slow. That is literally the biggest hurdle people have.
Well, there's a lot of
like
reasons
if you could solve
it could be slow.
If you could solve that problem for WordPress, I know it's true. And it's mostly just clunky amount of plugins and somebody being an idiot
or they're using
with the
the
way
bullshit
that they set up
Bluehost
site.
fucking shared server that's overloaded.
Or that, yeah. But yeah, if you could solve in some kind of way speed,
I can easily do that.
And like usability. Yeah, those are like a lot of the. But if you could do it at the core of like a layer where it will like affect everything, and that's where I'm saying more of like the Rust kind of like PHP, like something that's like deep in the engine of it.
Yeah, I mean this is just for deployment and managing the server. Like I just find it so annoying when you have to look at something in your database and you have to like open your fucking, you got to log into your server, you got to open the database manager, you have to like go to this thing and type your SQL command or copy and paste your SQL command that Claude gave you. Uh, but like you
Yeah.
don't actually have to do that anymore with this Homeboy thing that I built because Claude can just it's dangerous. It can accidentally delete your entire production database, but it can also get what it needs to get.
Homeboy takes down all of WordPress a year later after launch.
I love the name, dude. I love the name Homeboy. It's like
That's a sick name. I actually love
it
that
looks
name
so
too.
cool
It's a
in the
good name.
terminal, and when Claude types it, it's like Homeboy WP extra chill plugin list, and that works, and that gives you a list of every plugin installed on my website.
It's kind of like a spin-off of Homebrew. It's like
Homeboy,
Homeboy
yeah.
instead of
But dude,
Homebrew.
the reason
Yeah.
it's like inspired by a Susto song, Homeboy, but like
Oh,
but
okay.
also like
Sick.
Homeboy is like a street thing, you know, like songs by Homeboy.
Dude, yeah, Homeboy,
It
what's
runs
up? Yo, did I see
automation.
you get posted on the freaking Charleston
Oh yeah, I
newspaper?
wrote some articles. I was freelancing for the Post and Courier.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Congrats. That's
Thanks.
sick.
Yeah, I'm friends with Kaylin, the editor, and she texted me and asked if I can write some. But I do think it's funny because I haven't lived in Charleston in over a year, and I'm like contributing to the best South Carolina music article in the paper.
Bro, you lived there long enough that you're like a lifelong local, I
Yeah, I
think.
know. But thank you, dude. I did get paid to do that too. Well, I didn't get paid yet, but I'm gonna get paid
Sick.
very soon. Thank you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. Yeah, it's sick. But dude, I probably gotta go in like 5 minutes just because I have a thing at 12.
Okay.
But this is sick. Obviously, we've had 0 listeners,
That's right.
but I think we should probably do something next time around like getting some hype up, marketing it, and do this as like a podcast with episodes. Since this is recorded, we probably could do an upload to like YouTube and other platforms as like this was our first episode.
Yeah.
We can edit it too, so like I can take out the parts in the beginning when we're just
Yeah.
about.
I do like this. I mean, dude, we would be on the phone right now and catching up. That's basically what we've been doing. This is the same kind of conversation we end up having when we talk on the phone anyway.
Yeah, and I think this is mad cool. So yeah, I think I might even hire somebody on Upwork who does podcast stuff to just chop it up, edit it, and then tell me how to push it out to platforms and shit. And we'll just make this a developer podcast, call it something. Should we call it Homeboy? Oh no, maybe we call it something else.
Yeah, call it
I can't take your tool's name. We'll call it something else. But yeah, all right.
But I want to say one more thing about Homeboy. It also
Okay.
runs automation scripts. So I have a Bandcamp scraper that's written in Python that goes to bandcamp.com based on a tag you give it and collects email addresses from artists' Bandcamp profiles and any linked websites that they have in their bio. And it gives you a list of email addresses that I can then subscribe to my newsletter. It's like gray hat automation. And also, this is like a crazy idea that I have. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I was in New York for New Year's, and I was on Tinder, and I saw a girl whose Tinder profile.
Bro, you should have hit me up. I was in New York too.
Oh, really? I went to the fish
or at least Connecticut.
Yeah. But
that's
yeah.
sick.
So I saw this girl. She was really hot, and her bio said, "Probably won't take you seriously on here. Come find me in real life. I'm a regular at Fly Fish in NYC." And I was like, this is obviously a fucking ad. And I started having this crazy thought where I could make make fake Tinder profiles that say, I'm probably too busy to respond on here, out seeing live music. I find all the best shows on the Extra Chill calendar. And I'd be able, and then I had another idea where I have fake Instagram accounts. You know, sometimes you have Instagram comments that like direct you to another profile and it's like send it on Carolina community.
Yeah, dude. I don't like that though. It's so scammy. You don't need to go that route.
It just give me some ideas.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about it. It's funny. But Homeboy enables me to run automations like that and make bots. But the idea was that I would have people on Instagram not tagging Extra Chill, but they would be commenting on like a popular concert video and saying, "Oh, this concert was so sick."
No, there's something to that, bro. There's something to that. Everything's getting botted. There's bots everywhere. It's one of those things you got to jump on the wave or you're gonna miss it. Like, get some bots out there to help your platform.
Yeah, and try my best to not make it as super spammy. Like, this show is so sick. I'm so glad Extra Chill had it listed on their calendar. And don't tag Extra Chill or anything. And then they have to
just like make it fun, and if you can make somebody laugh or like add a little bit of value, then it's good.
I'm just thinking of it as ways to spread the word about this calendar that aren't SEO or like making reels and shit. I'm not really that good at making like reels and shit, and so but I am good at automation. So I'm like trying to leverage my own skills because like the Bandcamp thing, is like I can then invite all those artists to join the platform whenever I'm like ready to do that. I have a list of Bandcamp scraped email addresses that like I can send an email to whenever I'm ready. You know?
Hell yeah, dude. That's pretty freaking cool. All right. Well, we got to wrap this one up, but let's definitely do another one. I want to I wanted to maybe in the next one we can talk about more like AI tools that we're using in 2026 beyond just Claude
Yeah,
Code because there's a lot of other stuff out there.
yeah, we totally didn't even get into that
Um,
at all. That's like a whole big news thing. But yeah, dude, you got to go. It was great talking to you. This is what, an hour and 15 minutes now.
I know it went by fast, but yeah, dude, great catching up and talking shop.
Yeah, we'll text and find out a plan for when the next one's gonna be. Enjoy your Saturday, brother.
Thanks, you too, brother. Enjoy it. Peace.